hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everything in between. Welcome to Horizon Crochet. My name is Kelly. If this is your first time here or the first time watching the recording, welcome and thank you for being here. And I see people are here. Barb, Grandma Crochet Corner is here. Debbie is here from Friday Nights with Barb. Friday Nights with Barb. Oh, that kind of sounds like a nighttime program. Well, it is a nighttime program, but you know what I mean. Kathleen, happy Saturday morning, everyone. Hello, hello. I'm so glad you're here. This is a great time. I wish I could go live at this time of day every day, but you know, that darn work life thing. So yeah, if you're here, say hi. Just let me know you're here. And if you're watching this later, in the comments, say hi as well. Let me know if there's something you'd in particularly like to see us to work on or try. This channel is coming from a place of trying new things, stretching my horizons, and taking on new challenges and new projects. And so I made the blanket that I was very familiar with, and it is all finished. If you didn't get to see it, here it is. So this is my blanket. This is the first blanket I've ever made that I'm actually keeping. I say that now. And I picked it because of the colors and the space that I'm in down here. So we finished that up last week. And I really enjoy that because I needed something kind of mindless. And then we did worry worms. And if you saw Barb's show the other night, she showed us the worry worms she made, because like I said, that was a project that came out and was a big thing about 5 years ago, but I wanted to try that smaller yarn and get more used to it. So I'm doing something I'm comfortable with and big, and then I'm trying something smaller that is stretching and making me learn. So that's why I tried that. And now what I'm working on today and tomorrow is actually a project. I keep mentioning Barb, but sorry, Barb. The project I'm going to be working on today and tomorrow is actually something that Barb and Debbie are doing over on her channel on Friday nights. And they are doing these Sunburst granny squares. And so I'm going to go ahead and throw my hat in and try and make some of those. Let's see. Sassy Mary's here. Good morning or good afternoon, Mary, where you're coming from. Glad to have you here. Thank you, Kathleen. I love that blanket too. And it's nice to actually keep one. I don't normally keep the things I work on because I don't know. I just like the idea of somebody else enjoying it as much as it might sit in my closet, you know? Anyway, so thank you. I appreciate that. And so let me show you. Barb showed this on her show last night, and I've never done a puff stitch before. So it was me trying to get used to it. And I've told you guys before, I tend to try something once or twice, frog it, and then get my bearings about me when I try something new. So this is my first attempt at the very beginning. This isn't even probably 1/3 of the granny square, but you can see what I'm learning from this is I used a hook too small, so it's trying to invert and roll in on itself. So I'm going to go up a size hook to well, this is going to seem crazy, but either a 9 or an 8. What was I using? Now that I'm second guessing myself. Rattle, rattle, clank, clank. So yeah, I was using an 8 before, so I need to go up to a 9. And I'm going to frog this, and I'm going to start over. So my lesson learned was, even though I know I usually use an 8 with this yarn, it's Lion Brand Woolies, I need to go up another size, I think because of that puff stitch. So that was my lesson that I learned yesterday. So let's get to frogging and try it again with the size 9. Size 9 is also known as N. I think there's a number too, but this is a furls hook and they usually go by size, I think. I don't know. Everybody uses a different gauge, right, to measure. So what are you ladies up to today? Anybody working on anything? Kathleen, are you still working on your possum? And Barb, a blanket. Debbie, are you making another Highland cow? What are you ladies working on today? I love to hear about people's projects. As I frog this out, I'm actually glad to frog something for once, because I was struggling with it a little bit. And when I'm struggling with it and then I figure out what I was doing wrong, I'm excited to try again. So this yarn, it doesn't look too bad after frogging it. Sometimes when you frog your projects, you'll notice the yarn frays a little bit, or it's less original. I don't know the exact words to use. But yeah, so it looks good. I'm not going to frog this. I'm just going to remake the center. Another thing that I learned doing it the first time was I did what he said in the video, and I tied in my ends. But as you can see, well, if I hold it in front of me, you'll see how big the hole is in the middle. I'm not going to tie in that end that pulls it tight until I'm done the granny square, and then I'm going to finalize and give it another tug and then tie in that end. So all the other ends I'll tie in as I go, except for that one. Kathleen, I'm finishing up the possum. Yay! And I hope when you are done, Kathleen, you'll post it on the website, the Horizon Crochet website. I would love to get it on there and see it. Grandma Crochet Corner Barb, I have a few rows left on the cabin blanket. I'm eager to get it off the hook, finish to work on the squares you are doing. That is just, that log cabin blanket is just gorgeous though. And the idea, Barb, that you are just gathering your scrap yarns or your half-used skeins, I think that's it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. When if you're like, I'd love to get it on the Horizon Crochet and spotlight it, feature it too, if you're up for it, Barb. Debbie says, I have 3 or 4 projects going on. Not sure what I'm going to work on today. What's your mood, Debbie? Are you looking for something easy, something a little more challenging? How are you feeling on a Saturday afternoon? And Mary, putting an edge on a corner-to-corner blanket and maybe making some more Sunburst granny squares. I have never done a corner-to-corner blanket. It is on my list of things to try. It's in my my next 5 planned projects. They're not started, but I definitely want to do a corner to corner, and I will probably reach out to you all and get your suggestions, because it will be my first corner to corner when I start it. I would love to get your feedback on which one I should start with that challenges me but doesn't stress me out. It's a fine balance, isn't it? But that's great. I'm excited to hear what you're all working on. And I want to see why. There we go. Okay, just one thing I had to check. I didn't have Jen here, Barb, to say, have you gone live? So I wanted to check and make sure I was. All right, so I took the label off this, but this is actually Lion Brand Woolies. But I took the label off. I think it's just regular navy blue. It's the only color close to this. So if you go to a Michael's website or Walmart or wherever you get your yarn from, just look for this color. It's the only color remotely like it. And I can also look it up later, and I'll post it in the description. And then the other color I'm using, again, I had the yarn off of it, and that's why I'm using these yarns, is because I think they're similar enough to go together, and I have leftovers of them from past projects. And this is actually their recycled yarn line though, and it comes in this huge package at Walmart, and I will look this up as well and put it in the description. And then I just have my Fisherman Cream, that's Woolies. So in the video, he does he doesn't do a magic circle. He instead does that chain 4, and then you go back in and you turn one of the chains into your hole to start the working in the round. I like to do a magic circle. I like to do a magic circle. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started. I've got this part of the pattern memorized from yesterday, so I don't have to pull it up and watch it. Let me go ahead and we've got a lot of experienced crocheters here today, and I'm going to pick y'all's brain, y'all. You would think I haven't been in Canada for 13 years. I still have a little bit of Southern reference. So I'm going to play a trivia game with you all, a casual trivia game. And we'll just give you a warm up, an easy question for you all if you want to participate. What tool is used in crochet? Now, my husband still gets this wrong. We're all crocheters, so I expect all of you to get this one. But what tool is used in crochet? Just to give you an idea, and then you fill in the answer. I think everybody knows this one. Does anybody want to humor me and make sure that you get it? I never use magic circle. I feel like it's not secure enough for me. Very interesting, Mary. So you do the chain and then use the end or the first chain as your circle? I agree, Sassy. Debbie says, yeah. Thank you, Kathleen. Yes, a hook. Ding, ding, ding. That was such a hard one, right? And this is an experienced group, so I'll skip the easy ones. Let's just go right to the more challenging ones. How about that? I'm not saying the obvious. I say darning needles. Yes, yeah, Barb. You know what we call them here? Darn it needles. Darn it needles. Where's that needle? Darn it. Yes, but darning needle. That's another one. That's a great one. Can crochet be done on only one hook, or can you use two hooks? And if you're crowing something, that's fine. I do like Matt does in the video. Yeah. I used to do it that way, and then I learned the magic circle, and it was a challenge to learn the magic circle. Did I say morning circle? The magic circle. And then once I got it, I was like hooked on it. But I always have a hard time getting it started. So let's try. Let me get this. I might have to focus for a minute. What am I doing? There we go. I can't believe I'm using a hook this big, but I was really challenged with my tension yesterday when I was trying to do those puff stitches for the first time, which was fun to learn. And I've seen on Sammy's channel, we do charts symbols, and she's always pulling out the puff stitch symbol, which I know, but I didn't know how to actually do it. So this has been a fun project for me. Get that there, and then I can chain 3 after it slips off my hook. Then we're off to a great start. Can use 2 different size hooks for different parts of the project. Yeah, that's actually something that surprised me. Normally you usually only use 1 hook, but there are some projects that you use 2, and I've never seen that before. So if you had answered actually either way, that's the correct answer, and it surprised me as a relatively new crocheter. Kathleen also said I used a double end hooks but haven't used 2 hooks. Yeah, I've never seen anybody do that, but apparently it's a thing. All right, let's pull out a harder one. What is, this is a really hard one. Does it, anybody know what the Craft Yarn Council list is? Let's see if you guys know this one. What is the standard abbreviation for treble crochet? What letters are used in the standard treble crochet? So if you're reading a pattern, what abbreviation would you see for triple treble crochet? I did not know this one, and I thought I knew patterns pretty well. Because I'm a visual person, I like to see the pattern on paper. And I've got 3 chains for my first double crochet in the circle. And we're doing 16 double crochets according to the video. Oops, but I'm using the wrong end. I'm not using my working chain or my working yarn. Let's go back, switch that up. That's how long my end is. I didn't realize I made it so long. Let's see. Grandma says TC. Kathleen says TRCH. Debbie says TBL or TECH. Darn autocorrect. Yes, it'll get you every time. Depends on what country the writer of the pattern is in. It's very true. Very true. So I saw that it was TR. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound right? Because you guys are all, now I'm second guessing myself over here because you all are so much more experienced to me. I've seen it in different ways. I think that's fair. And it is a good point that there's the North American way about going for, writing the pattern symbols out, or the UK version. So I'm leaning towards what you all say, the TRCH, and maybe this is the UK version. All right, let me go to, what does TOG, T-O-G, mean in a crochet pattern? I know this one is universal. What is TOG? And I don't think it's a Gortog for those gamers out there. All right, now am I working the right yarn this time? Let's not do that again. I am. Yay. Little successes. Little successes in crochet. I'm not used to using a hook this big. This is interesting. But I think it'll be a lot better for my tension. And then the granny square won't curl in on itself. Together. I've never heard of TRTR. Yeah, I'm second guessing myself. I'm going to have to look that one up, Barb. I'm leaning towards what you guys say. Debbie says together. Kathleen says together. Grandma says 2 together. It is together, which would be bringing 2 together. Ding, ding. All right. And I like this one. What is yo? Yo. What does that stand for in crochet abbreviations? Y-O. Yo. Like a yo-yo. Anybody remember playing with yo-yos as a kid? They're actually coming back. My nephews love to play with yo-yos, which surprised me. One of them asked for a really nice razor yo-yo, he called it, for Christmas. And it just made my heart so happy that he didn't ask for a video game and he wanted a yo-yo. And his reasoning was, I can take a yo-yo to school, I can't take a video game to school. I'm like, oh, okay. Yarn. Debbie says yarn over. Grandma says yarn over. Kathleen says yarn over. Debbie says the yarn you're using is very thick yarn, so that means you need a big fat hook, and your stitches will be big fat stitches. Make your square very big. Yep, it's going to be a big one, and I'm okay with that. But like I said, I think I'm going to turn mine, instead of a blanket, into a tote bag. So and I'm using a canvas bag because I'm going to use it as a laptop bag. I don't ever seen anybody at work with a granny square tote bag, so that's what I'm going to use it for. And yes, it's yarn over. That was an easy one. All right, what about this one? What kind of early technique did Britannica say crochet developed from in the 19th century? So basically, it's asking what hobby or skill originated the crochet. Crochet developed from this hobby and skill. Mary says, question on the Starburst, Granny. That might be a great question for Deb and Barb. Go for it, Mary. If you've got a question about it, please go ahead. Debbie says, tote bag is a great idea. Yeah, I think I want to represent the crochet world out there. And a lot of people at work have been coming forward to say, oh, I've always wanted to learn how to crochet. And I tell them I found my interest in crochet from somebody at work. So I've been toying with the idea of maybe doing a monthly crochet lunch at work, but not everybody comes in for work anymore. Some people work from home, so I don't know if it'll work out. Let's see here. Barb says fishing nets. I've heard. Kathleen says I've heard 100 times and can't remember. Okay. Well, Britannica says it developed in the 19th century from a form of chain stitch embroidery done with a hook instead of a needle. That's what Britannica says. But I think fishing nets is a neat way too. That would be very interesting. Because it's like a bunch of cables, right? Does that sound familiar to you all? Mary says, when doing the puff stitch, I think she means to say, she said put, but I think she means puff. Stitch in the video, written pattern has you chaining 2 to start, but he doesn't do that in the tutorial. Which one to use? So again, when doing the puff stitch, the video written pattern has you chaining 2 to start, but he doesn't do that in the tutorial. Which one should she use? Which path? Barb, Deb, what do you guys think? What do you ladies think? Or Kathleen, if you've seen it yet? Debbie says, I've been following the video, but do whatever you like best. I like that answer. Just like he did a chain circle, but I'm doing a magic circle. So adapt it to what works best for you and you think works for your style, Mary. Just like Debbie said. Grandma says, yes, the Ireland women crocheted colors to sell in the 1800s to the London ladies. Queen Elizabeth made it famous, crocheting that is. Very cool. And I am a big fan of Queen Elizabeth and anything related to her. I found it fascinating. I actually, because there are so many strong women in history named Elizabeth, fictional and factual, people, characters, they're just very strong, or they tend to be, that I named my first daughter Elizabeth. She doesn't go by Elizabeth. She has kind of a nickname, but I absolutely love the name Elizabeth just because there's so many strong women in history that were named Elizabeth. Grandma missed the question. I can read it back to you, Barb. Kathleen says, I agree with Deb. Try both and pick which one you like the best. Oh, okay, Barb did get it. I do a chain to close and a chain to move on. Does that help, Mary? I hope. And let me, oh, okay. Barb, based off of what you said, you might find this interesting. According to Britannica again, crochet was introduced into Ireland in the 1840s. as a response to what? So that's another trivia question that's very related to what you said, Barb. According to Britannica, crochet was introduced into Ireland in the late 1840s as a response to what? I love history. Mary says, I've been doing like the video, but after reading the pattern, I was second guessing myself. Mary, me personally, I've been following just the video because I am such a visual learner. I love the examples and watching people. I do like patterns because, again, I can see it, I can read it. But I would say do just like the lady said, whichever one you're most comfortable with. Kathleen says, oh yes, Barb, I remember that. It's the reason why many older patterns refer to the items as the Queen's lace. Oh, very neat. See, and I thought I knew my stuff after all these gathering these trivia questions. And so the question again was, what was it? According to Britannica, crochet was introduced into Ireland in the late 1840s in a response to what? And Barb called it famine, to raise money to feed their families. Yes, Britannica phrases the answer as a famine relief measure. That's great. Ding, ding, ding. Barb wins that one. Debbie says to Mary, it's easy to do because the pattern wording doesn't always match. Yeah, I found that with lots of different crocheters that are online and often do video tutorials. They'll also say you can get the pattern here, which is great. And then sometimes there's small variants and differences. And I heard one crocheter explain the differences as, well, I wrote the pattern months ago. And then by the time I get the video tutorial together and get it nice and smooth and easy for everybody to learn, I might switch it up a little bit just out. Oh my goodness, I have hiccups. Just out of naturally feeling like that was what was next. But the idea and the pattern work together. The video, you generally get it. Grandma also said, I did a video 8 months ago on the history of crochet. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that one out. I would love to watch that one. Do you happen to remember the title of it, Barb? If not, I know you're, as you always say, I'm 65 years old. Don't hate me, Barb. So if you don't remember the title, I will find it. No worries. All right. Debbie says, Barb, you'll have to repost that video on the crochet. Yeah, crochet history. I would love to see that. That's why you know the answers today. Yeah, she's prepared and didn't even know she had to prepare for it. All right, so another question. Let's see here. I don't like that one because that might be... What does PM mean in crochet abbreviations? PM. And it's not the time of day. I'm like so distracted today. I've got almost my double crochets done here in my magic circle. How many do I have so far? Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm up to 9 and I need 16. Ten. 11. Let me just knock these out real quick. 12. Oops. 13. 14. gotta get my groove. $14. Let's see here. Barb says, I will look. It was back in July last year. Kathleen says, place marker. Deb says, I've never heard of that one. Mary says, private message. PM stands for place marker. Ding, ding, ding. Kathleen got that one. I guess like stitch marker, place marker. I've seen some people say, put your stitch marker here. I've seen put a place marker here. Again, up for discussion. Go Kathleen, go Kathleen. It's your birthday. We're going to party like it's your birthday. All right, let me count these again now. 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There we go. And this time my stitches look much better. I know it's a dark color, so it's hard for you to see, but they're definitely, my tension is much better. It's less sloppy, and switching up the hook was a good decision. And now let's see if it's going to pull together correctly, because that's always a little tricky. Please don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Let's see. Is it gonna pull together? Oh, there we go. Good. Oh, I thought it was gonna choke on me. No choking. I've never heard of it before, but it ended up on one of my newer patterns. Interesting. So I'm finding with this yarn, I still have a gap in the middle. It's getting smaller the more I tug on it. So I'm just not going to tie in that end till the end. The end to the end. Let me go ahead and do a slip stitch and connect these two sides. All right, what about... Let's see here. In crochet abbreviations, and hopefully this is North American, because now I'm second guessing these. What is the difference between FPDC and BPDC? You know what? I'll put this one in the chat. This is a tough one. Let me copy and paste this, and I'll put it in the chat so you can visually see it. Come on now. My mouse is way too sensitive down here. In crochet abbreviations, what is the difference between FPDC and BPDC? And slip stitch these together. My nail keeps catching onto my yarn. Kathleen says front post double crochet and back post double crochet. And FPDC means front post double crochet, and BPDC means back post double crochet. Great job, Kathleen. And Deb got it too. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Good job. One goes in the front and the other goes in the back. Now, Kathleen, would you be able to spot those on Sammy's quizzes that she gives us? She likes to test us over there. See if we're paying attention. Put this away until I make another one. I'm just going to try and make one granny square today, or down here, and then I'll make more when I get upstairs. Whose quizzes? What channel are you talking about? Sorry, Sammy, who does a YouTube channel for Yarn Over Hook. If you go to yarnoverhook.com, there's a website and a community there, and Sammy does their lives and their videos, and she is determined to teach us all crochet chart symbols, which has been great. I know the symbols better than I know actually how to do the stitches now, which is going to be really helpful when I do get to learning new stitches. So check them out, Yarn Over Hook, and their YouTube channel. She goes live on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday afternoon. So she's got that's 3 lives. And if you're a member, you get Thursday as well. So you get 4 lives per week. And they're a fantastic community. Absolutely love them over there. I have gotten that symbol wrong several times on her quizzes, Kathleen. Yeah, I hear you. I think I try and remember going to the left is front, going to the right is back. Can you post a link to the channel in chat, Kelly? Yeah, sure. Let me go ahead and pull it up real quick. I'll give you the link to their website as well. You can join, and the community is run by Roman, Riri, and Sammy. And Sammy does all of that's their website. Now let me get the YouTube channel. Sorry about my sniffles, guys. Actually, Sammy is on vacation this week. So if you look for her lives, she'll be back next week. And here is their YouTube channel. Copy. Really great people. Absolutely loved them. When I was struggling to learn crochet, actually I almost gave up on trying to learn crochet because I was struggling to find local resources or a community that I could go and ask questions. And of course, this is before I found Barb too. This was about last summer when I found Yarn Over Hook. And Sammy is just so gracious and such an amazing teacher that I just got latched onto that community, and I've learned so much through them. So especially if you're a beginner or advanced, it's a great community to watch and learn a lot. A lot. Okay, so I'm going to do one more thing since we actually have 3 of you here. Let me take a look. I have a jar of jelly beans. Now I know some of you aren't eating jelly beans right now, but I had put together a contest that I was going to do. And I just didn't have enough people show up to the live to do this contest. So let's do it today. and I will send the winner a small prize. I'm not going to mail out this, but give me 1 second. Let me roll over here. So what I was going to do on Easter Sunday, when my first day I went live, I was going to do a contest that was really simple. So you have the opportunity to win. See this jar of jelly beans? If you can tell me how many jelly beans, or the closest person to how many jelly beans are on here, and yes, I counted every one of these jelly beans. The closest person to guess of how many jelly beans are in this jar, let me know. But before you do that, I'm going to write the actual number down so you know I don't change it or anything like that. Let me write it down in this book, and I'll see who gets the closest. And I forgot how many are in here, but I made notes. Let me see how many are in here. Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay. So I'm not going to show it to you, but in this book is a number. You want to see the jelly beans again before you guess? But this is the jar of jelly beans. How many jelly beans do you think are in this jar? And it's really heavy. I would ship this jar of jelly beans to you as a gift, as a prize, but I think it would cost me like $50 to ship this jar of jelly beans. So I will get you a different prize sent to you. So, does anybody want to guess? How many jelly beans are in the jar? And you're going to be wrong no matter what. I mean, the odds are against you. But it's not about getting the right number. It's about getting as close to the right number as you can. How many jelly beans? Anybody brave enough to guess? Oh, you guys got quiet. You're either thinking about it really hard. Okay, Debbie says 246. I love those even numbers, 2, 4, 6, in a nice row. I love numbers, even numbers. Thank you, Debbie. Anybody else want to guess? Mary says 500. Barb says 925. Kathleen, did you want to guess? Kathleen says 184. It says we have 5 people in here. Is there anybody else out there that wants to vote? I'll share it in 30 seconds in case somebody else wants to throw it in there. We might have just a quiet person. So in 30 seconds, let me know how many jelly beans are in this jar to win a prize. Maybe they're just a really shy person, and that's okay. All right, so there are, if you can read my messy handwriting, 436 jelly beans in this jar. And like I said, I counted them all. And you know how many went rolling across the floor in the process? My dogs were very happy. So that would be Mary. Mary won. Congratulations, Mary. And I will, let me put my email in the chat. Congratulations, Mary. I'll put my email in the chat, and you can reach out to me, and we'll get your information if you're comfortable with providing that to me in an email, and I'll send out a prize for you. And who am I? Okay, what's my email? Did I put it in there right? Horizon Crochet Kelly at gmail.com. So there you go, Mary. Go ahead, shoot me an email. Because on my opening week, I had actually planned to do lots of contests. So I have lots of little things and some medium-sized things to give away over the next couple of months since I didn't give them all away on my kickoff week. So I've got items. No need to send me a thing. Aw, well, congratulations. And if you change your mind, Mary, please let me know. Send me an email. I'm just happy I guessed so close. You really were close. You were the closest. Oh, I thought you meant after I ate 352 of them. No, no. I actually don't like jelly beans, so it was an easy win for me. We went to a place called the Bulk Barn, and at the Bulk Barn, I was like, I need something that I don't like, so I don't eat it. And that's why I picked up jelly beans. And they're so colorful and they're fun, right? Mary, if you change your mind, let me know. Send me an email, and I'm happy to send something small out to you. And it would be no trouble at all. But if you want to pass, I totally understand. All right, back to my granny square. And I'm not going to weave in the middle piece, like I said, but I am going to shorten it. And I'm going to weave in my other end, because he does it as he goes. I like weaving in ends. I am one of those weird people. I don't know many people that like to tie in their ends, but I really enjoy it. It gives me a sense of accomplishment and, ooh, that step is done. I don't know. It's like checking off a box. You know, when you have a list of things, it's really gratifying to say, done, 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 done. It's that kind of thing. And oops, opened the wrong thing. Great. Now let's close it, because it's going to clog everything up. There we go. So let's see if I have any more trivia that's going to challenge this advanced group. In a standard pattern pronunciation, what does an asterisk usually signal? In a standard pattern punctuation, what does the asterisk symbol mean? This one I didn't know. This one taught me. This one was good for me, because I had no idea. Would have made my life so much easier. Debbie says repeat. Barb says to repeat. Any other guesses? Kathleen says repeat from that point. Mary, did you want to guess? If not, that's fine. I've been thinking about what days before I do that. It is repeat. Yes, correct. Repeat. What was I going to say? It was there. And then I interrupted myself. Normally it's in parentheses what you need to repeat, and then I'll tell you how many times to repeat it. Mary says, I'll be silent this time. That was me. That was me, Mary, too. Very interesting, Debbie. So if it's in parentheses, how many times to repeat? Gotcha. Have you written your own patterns before, Debbie? I hate plastic, darn it, needles. Darn it, needle. It's a real challenge to find large-eyed metal needles for chunky yarn. If anybody has a suggestion or a website to find them one, let me know. Debbie, oh heck no. I can barely follow a pattern. Oh, I don't know. You did really well today. Barb, have you made your own patterns? Kathleen? Mary? I want to make one day. Maybe in a year, after I'm more experienced and I know more and understand more. I'd really like to put patterns together that are dyslexia friendly, because I have dyslexia and so does my daughter, and my sister has something similar. And I want to make patterns that are easy to remember for those with learning disabilities and easier to read. How exactly I want to do that and make it still easy to read for those without, I don't know yet. That's why I'm going to wait a while till I get it all figured out and it makes sense. Barb says no, but I know when I'm trying to use a bad pattern. Ah, gotcha. You ladies, I like to challenge people, not in a way like challenge to argue, but to push themselves. You ladies should come up with a pattern together. I bet you would be amazing. You could make a blanket, team up together, and I just bet it would be absolutely gorgeous. Mary says, I just chicken scratch and add the other patterns to make them work for me. Yeah, that works too. I do that in adjustments and different things, like around corners and granny squares. Some patterns want you to do like 4 chain around a corner, and I'm like, oh, I just want 2. I don't want a big gap, right? So I make adjustments to what works for me and my preferences too. All right, let me get this yarn. Go on to the puff stitch round. But I've got way too much on wound here. Kathleen says, writing patterns is an art form itself. I can make crochet, all the crochet I want, but to write it down for others, no. And if that's what you enjoy, and I think that's so important, is finding the parts that you enjoy about crochet and sticking to it. And if making patterns for other people isn't your thing, then it's not your thing. But I think it's neat that you all as Mary called it, chicken scratch down your own notes and make it work for you. All right, one more trivia question. And then I'm going to think about wrapping things up because I have a meeting at 1:30. But this has been so much fun this weekend doing these other times a day. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I was going to say I think my schedule will be Monday in the early evening, Wednesday after Yarn Over Hook, which will be around 7ish, and then Saturday and Sunday. So what time Saturday and Sunday? Probably like today around noon, and then Sunday probably around 1. I'm going to try and do 4 times a day or 4 times a day. Wow. I'm trying to compete with Barb. 3 times a week for sure. And hopefully 4 for bonus material kind of thing. And I have some videos that I'm putting together. I'm in the middle of editing some store visits, yarn store visits that I did, and I'm going to post those because I personally love to follow somebody else walk through a yarn store in a different location, see what they have, how it's laid out. It's like going to a toy store at Christmas time, right? Actually, for one of my videos, it's such a big local yarn store that I'm playing Christmas music kind of vibe in the background just because I felt like I was at Christmas when I was walking around that store. It was so much fun. So that was what I was going to say that I forgot. So I think I've figured out my schedule. I'm going to skip the 5 a.m. to 7 thing that I was going to do originally. But I will make sure that I do my live before Barb's and after Sammy's, so I don't miss anybody else's. I was going to do one more. So, what do the abbreviations FWP and RETP stand for in Tunisian crochet? Tunisian crochet. Not sure. This is a really hard one. At least I think, because not everybody does Tunisian or Tunisian crochet. Hi, Kelly. Sorry I'm late. Been busy this morning. No problem, Jen. You know, I want to copy and paste this in the chat so you can see it. You had a busy day yesterday too, Jen. I'll catch you all later. Have a great day, everyone. See you, Debbie. Mary says I subscribe so I can catch you later. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. More the merrier. And Kathleen says it sounds good. Bye, Debbie. So yeah, the last question that I have for trivia. What do the abbreviations FWP and RETP stand for in Tunisian crochet? I have no idea. I just happened to know it and bump into it for the question. I learned this one. And some people have said, Kelly, since you like the thicker yarn, you should try Tunisian crochet. I haven't yet. I want to just figure out regular crochet more before I start to expand into different types. But if nobody knows this one, I'm happy to share the answer. It's a tough one. Mary says no clue. I had no clue either. Barb, do you know by any chance? Have you played with it at all? I'll put it in the chat, the answer as well. I think we've stumped everybody on this one. All right. So forward pass and return pass. Wow, Kathleen. Either you type really fast or you were typing the same time I was. Kathleen said, I'll take a guess. Forward work post and return work post. Nope, I don't do Tunisian. That's all right. That's fine. I was just curious. That's great. Kathleen, you put post and past. You were so close, though. You got the primary part of it. Okay, Jen, no problem. Barb, something funny last night was I usually fall asleep listening to your channel because I just like something playing quietly in the background. Otherwise, my mind will just wander on its own. And I think I woke up around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and there was nobody talking. And I was like, did they go to bed early? Where did they go? Anyway, I was just I was just surprised. What time is it? Okay. And I'm going to weave in the next round for the puff stitches. I'm probably going to have to take this upstairs with me because during my meeting that I have, I can actually crochet as I do it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before I get started and too far into it. Thank you, ladies, so much for hanging out with me for an hour. I appreciate you all. Thanks for playing the game, trivia game with me. And Barb, I want to check out that history video of crochet that you have on your channel, so I'll be checking that out before you're live, probably tonight. Kathleen, good to see you. Deb, I think you're gone. Have a great day, and we'll see you this evening. Mary, if you change your mind and you want your gift, send me an email. You definitely deserve it for the great guests that you had for the game. And I think that's it. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you all. We'll see you later on tonight. And I might do a live tomorrow afternoon. But if you're around, great. If not, say hi in the recording later if you watch it. But no pressure. So thank you, ladies. I appreciate you all. Bye. See you later tonight.